everyone, Anne from the Sussex Handmade Soap Company here, and today I am bringing you something a little bit new, hopefully new and exciting. Those of you who are regular subscribers to our channel will know that every Friday we bring you a new soap making video where you can basically watch us making our soaps, and we'll show you how we do them and we talk you through us making them. But I want to take things a little bit more in depth. I want to show you a little bit more about us as a company and as a business. I want to talk a little bit more about the actual day-to-day running of a business, and I want to give you guys some hints and tips if you are thinking about starting your own soap business or indeed any kind of craft business here in the UK. A lot of the hints and tips that we give will be relevant to wherever you are in the world, but certain tips will be more specific to the UK, because when we first started our soap making, we actually found it really hard to find good information on the legal requirements of running a soap company in the UK, because a lot of the information was relevant to the USA, which do not have rules that are as strict as ours here in the UK. So yeah, the actual starting up of the business was a little bit tough just in terms of finding out what we legally had to do to be able to sell soap. So I'm hopefully going to cover that in future videos, as well as, yeah, behind the scenes, what we do on a day-to-day basis, how we do our craft fairs, things like that. I want to cover it all because I've been on YouTube now for just under a year. We started at the end of February 2020 and it is now mid-January 2021, and we have loved bringing you these videos. We've really enjoyed doing them, so we thought, why not add a little bit more to our plate and do a Tuesday one as well. I can't promise that these will be up every Tuesday. It may be that we don't have enough time, but if we do, we shall bring you some behind the scenes and business talk on Tuesdays. So obviously there's not going to be any soap making in today's video, so if you're looking for that, then I'm afraid you're going to be disappointed. But hopefully, those of you that are interested in the business side of things and the behind the scenes side of things, hopefully might find this a little bit fun, a little bit interesting. It tells you a bit more about us as well, which I quite like. So today's video naturally kind of has to be an introduction to how, when, why we got actually into soap making, because that is the very basic beginning. It is our business, how we got into it and why we are doing it. So, in a nutshell, about 18 years ago, 20 years ago, when I was 18 years old, so yeah, 20 years ago, I'm 38 now, 39 next month, that's gone quick. I said to my mum one day, I was like, I'm going to make bath and body products and soaps and things, and I ordered myself a load of stuff to make things with. I made lip balms and whatnot, and then my mother saw the sodium hydroxide and she was like, sodium hydroxide? Lie? She was like, you're going to blow up the house, you're going to wreck the place, you're going to destroy everything. So that, coupled with being 18 years old and wanting to go out with my friends and, you know, boys and things that were much more exciting, it kind of was a very short-lived idea, but I kind of had the love of doing something like that, but not the will to actually do it at that point in time. So fast forward, and a few years later I actually set up a company selling party decorations and fancy dress. I did that all online. I bought wholesale and I sold retail. But my heart towards the end of that business wasn't in it. At its heyday, it was fantastic. I mean, I was turning over £250,000 a year at the height of that business, which sounds like a huge amount, but it's really, really not, because I was also paying 2 full-time members of staff and office and warehouse premises and, you know, insurances and everything, and that £250,000 turnover was nowhere near my profit level. My profit level basically gave me enough money to survive and live, you know, a pretty nice life, but without many luxuries. Like, I didn't really go on many holidays or things like that. I didn't have a fast, expensive car, so it was basically just covering day-to-day life and the odd little luxury here and there. But I say, towards the end of that, I just got a little bit disheartened with it. It was all online, I never got to see people, and my heart just wasn't in it. And then my marriage split up as well. I ended up moving an hour and a half away from where I was living, And all of that coupled together kind of led to that business just being closed down. I decided to just shut it down and cut my losses, because if I hadn't done that, then, you know, it probably would have failed a few months after that anyway, which is still really hard to say because I don't like the idea of failing at anything, but essentially that is the truth. If I hadn't shut it down, I don't think it had many months left in it anyway. So I was like, no, we'll start again, we'll do something else. So that was 2014. I then spent the next couple of years just kind of surviving, just doing things here and there just to get a bit of cash, very much kind of in a state of I don't know what I'm doing, I don't know where I'm going. But I did have an allotment, which I loved going to, and I really felt at peace when I went there. I loved growing fruit, growing vegetables. For those of you in the USA or outside of the UK that aren't sure what an allotment is, it's kind of like a community garden that you rent and you can grow fruit and vegetables and flowers. So I had one of those and I loved being down there, and I was growing my fruit and my vegetables. But then I also had things like lavender and roses and calendula because I wanted to attract the bees, and I liked the fact that they were really pretty. And I started wondering, what can I do with these flowers that's going to be productive as well? And that's when I kind of went full circle and went back to that idea I'd had when I was 18 of making bath and body products. So I cut and dried some of my lavender and I infused it, and I just made a very basic lavender body cream, which was great. And then I was like, I want to take things a step further. I'm going to try and make some soap. So, with my mother safely out of the picture and not, you know, worrying I was going to blow stuff up, I started researching soap and reading recipes and doing everything I could to learn about soap making. And I then made my first bar of soap, which was a disaster, because I measured all of my ingredients, all of my liquid ingredients in millilitres. And I know now that is a complete rookie mistake. They should have been measured in grams. Everything should be weighed in grams, whether it's liquid or solid. But I measured in millilitres. The soap didn't turn out quite right, but I got the bug for soap making. So that was there. I kind of played around a bit more, did a bit. It was very much a hobby at this point, and it was just something that was a bit of fun, but I never thought I could turn it into a business. The actual catalyst for turning it into a business actually came in 2017, 2018. And the reason for that is kind of a sad one. My dad passed away, which was totally sucky and horrible. But yeah, and when he did pass away, I was like, do you know what? He was only 75, and I say only 75. I know that some people go, oh, that's old, but it wasn't, because Dad didn't look 75, he didn't act 75, and we never would have thought he'd go that quickly and that early. And when he did die, I was like, do you know what? I have to do what I want to do now. I can't sit around just waiting for something to happen. I want to do something that makes me happy, because life is so unpredictable. It's like in August 2017, myself and my mum and my dad and my kids, we were all on holiday together. Everything was great. Everything was fine. And it was 3 months after that Mum first rang me up and she was like, I think there's something wrong with your dad. He's been a bit strange. And I was like, mums are warriors. That's what mums do. So I was a bit like, yeah, all right, Mum. Yeah, all right. Don't worry about it. It'll be fine. Then a few days later, she rang me up again. She was like, no, I'm sure there's something wrong. And again, it was still like, my mother's overreacting again. But unfortunately, in this instance, she wasn't overreacting. It was 3 days before Christmas when we found out that he had cancer, which was just, unexpected and horrible. And it was May 2018 when he actually passed away. And that was really hard because of all the people in my life, I think my dad was the one person that always kind of really believed in me, because that I would be okay. Because I've had a lot of jobs that I haven't got on with and things that I've done. And Mum was always a bit like, oh God, what's my daughter doing? But Dad was always the one that was like, nah, she'll be fine, she'll be great. And he was also always there to help me with my business, because he was an accountant, he was self-employed, so he kind of helped me with so much stuff. And I grew up kind of looking at him as like the businessman, that knew how to do everything, because dads know how to do everything, don't they? Anytime you've got a problem, you can ask your dad and he'll have the answer. So he always supported me, and I was like, okay, so now he's gone, what can I do? I was like, I want to do what makes me happy now. And the second catalyst from that is that he did leave me £2,000, and I was like, I can either go on a luxury foreign holiday or I can do something useful with this money. And I was like, you know what, I'm going to do something useful with it. So I went to Wayne and I said, Wayne, I think I want to make soap for a living. Do you want to help me? And he just sort of looked at me and then he went, you all right then? That is such an understated way for this business to have begun. But that's basically how it did. We took Dad's money that he'd left me, and I know he would have been super proud of what I'm doing now, because he always said to me, when I was doing the retail, buying wholesale, selling retail, he was like, what you're doing is great, but what you want to do, you want to create a product yourself, because then you can sell it retail and have a little bit more profit, or you can sell it wholesale. And I was like, yeah, all right, Dad, whatever you say. And at the time I was like, I don't know what I'm going to be able to create and then sell. And now obviously it's the soap, and that is a regret, or a wish rather, that he'd been around to see this, because I know for a fact he would have been absolutely super duper proud. But you know, his money, what he left me, was enough for us to buy some ingredients and some moulds and to not have to worry so much about where the money was going to come from. So it was set up with that. So yeah, going back to me saying to Wayne, let's make some soap, him saying, yeah, all right then. So it was around about July, August time, 2018, that we made our first soap bar together. And this here is it. Wayne has kept so much stuff from our soaping journey, and he still has one of our first bars. And this bar didn't turn out great. It was over traced, it was too thick, but this was one of our first tester bars, and it's completely lost all of its scent now, but it is absolutely rock hard, and I reckon I could use that now and it would be a really mild, gentle soap, but I'm not going to, it's going back in the memory box. So August 2018, we're making our first bars of soap together, and we are researching. We spent hours online researching how to make soap, researching all about the ingredients, hints and tips, the legal side of things in the UK, and I bought a book, this book here, which was really, really useful. It's actually an American book, so there's a couple of things in here that are slightly different to how you do it in the UK. I think some of the essential oils she uses in higher amounts than are actually legally allowed in the UK, but you know, they're things that you learn as you go along. But it is a very useful book. She's got loads of lovely recipes. This is all kind of natural stuff as well. She's got colour charts to show how to use natural colourants. What else is there in here? Swirl techniques. And at the back there is also a troubleshooting page. And I can tell you, at the beginning of our journey, this troubleshooting page was extremely useful. So this is one book that I would absolutely recommend. I have now got stacks of books on soap making, but that is still one of my favourites. So we spent the next few months just making sure we knew what we were doing, testing recipes. When we were happy with recipes, we were getting very close friends and family to test them for us, as in like literally our mothers and my brother and Wayne's sisters. We weren't giving them to anybody that was outside of the family because we didn't want to risk doing that without the correct assessments in place, but we were getting very, very close family members, like immediate family, to just give us their opinions. And when we got enough research and opinions and we were happy with our recipe ourselves, then we got our recipes assessed, which is something I'll talk about in a future video because it is fairly involved. But we got everything in place to allow us to legally sell soap in the UK. And in February 2019, we started booking craft fairs and shows and events to attend. And we attended our first soap making event or craft fair in May 2019. So that was 9 months after we'd made that first bar of soap. And I know a lot of people say you need to be making soap for at least a year before you can even think about selling it. So we did cut 3 months off of that time frame. But in our defence, we had spent so much time researching it and learning it and being really confident with our recipe that we felt at that point that we were good to go. You know, we were happy, we were confident, so we went for it. And our first event was May 2019. It was raining really heavily. I remember that when we took all our stock into the hall and there was so much rain. And I remember everything being a bit of a rush because the event finished at 4 and I was meant to pick my daughter up from school at 5. And the event was a good sort of 45, 50 minutes away from the school. So there was that panic of, oh my goodness, I'm not going to get back in time. And we didn't actually, we were 15 minutes late. She had to kind of wait. Sorry, daughter. But it was so lovely just to have actually been at an event and we sold a bit of soap. We didn't make hundreds of pounds. I think at that first fair our actual turnover was about £150, which isn't amazing, but it was something, and we made a small profit off of that fair as well. But it was just the feeling of being out there and doing it, and that was a fantastic feeling. Yeah, so then over the course of 2019 we just concentrated on getting bigger and better, very much attending the craft fairs, attending the shows, but this is all stuff I shall tell you in future videos when I cover craft shows and events and things like that and growing a business. This was purely today's introduction, so I think I've fairly well introduced ourselves and introduced our company. I don't think there's anything I've forgotten. I can't think of anything, so in future videos hopefully we will be able to upload them, as I say, on a Tuesday, and we are just going to cover, everything. The safety aspects of things, the legal aspects of things in the UK. Obviously the legal side of things is only going to be applicable to the UK because I don't know rules and regulations for other countries, so the legal side of stuff will be UK based law. We're going to give you hints and tips on running a business. We're going to show you kind of what we have to do on a day-to-day basis, so everything from the most mundane tasks up to the most exciting tasks. And we're just going to show you a little bit more about us, about our company, and about what we do. And hopefully you guys will enjoy that. Hopefully you might find it informative if you're trying to start your own business in soap making or crafting, or just in general. You know, some of those tips will probably translate quite well for any kind of small business, so hopefully you guys will find it useful. But thank you for watching today, and we will see you on Friday for our regular soap making video, and until then, just have fun and enjoy yourself. Bye.